I get a lot of questions every day on my Instagram asking about all things related to Airbnb, serviced accommodation, and property in general. So I thought I'd make a video going through the most recent messages that I've received, and hopefully it answers a lot of your questions. So, can I do this while working a full-time job? Well, the answer is yes, 100%. This is why I talk about a good management company and why they're so important. So you can be working your 9 to 5 or you can be working full time, and your management company that you employ will be looking after your Airbnb, dealing with all the guests, the maintenance, the cleaning, the linen, the whole process. So just quickly how it would look: you find the property, you set it up, you do all that bit maybe in the evenings or the weekend, wherever you've got free time. You pass it over to the management company, they look after the property, you can go back to work, or you can focus on sort of building that portfolio and getting more properties again while they're looking after it. So yeah, you can work a full-time job and do this. How much money can I make from my first Airbnb? So it depends on the property, it depends on the size, the condition, who your guest is going to be, whether it's tourism or contractor market, the time of year. So there's lots of different variables, but I think probably anywhere from 500 up to a few thousand is what you're going to make out of your first Airbnb. How long does it take to start making money from my first Airbnb? Well, you'll effectively be making money within 24 to 48 hours, because as soon as that property is listed on Airbnb and you start to get bookings, which you should, because you'll have done all the research, you'll have found a good property in a good area, you'll start making money back really quick. Now, in terms of actually making a profit, because that money that comes in straight away is going to be covering your first month's rent, it's going to be covering deposit, furnishing the property. So you'll start to turn over money very, very quickly within a few days. But to get your money back, your investment back, it's probably going to take about 1 to 3 months, something like that. How quickly can I get my first Airbnb deal secured? Well, not to put it back on people and shy away from giving you a real answer, but it does really depend on how much work you're going to do. So in terms of how long it's going to take, I've got some people that I've worked with and they've done it within 3 weeks. They've got a deal secured, set up and live within under 4 weeks. I've got some guys that I'm working with at the moment. They started last Monday, and this is being filmed on a Monday as well, so that was a week ago. And they're already talking to estate agents and landlords, and I'm pretty confident they'll get a deal secured probably next week, so within 2 weeks. But they're working very hard at it every day, lots of phone calls, lots of research. So to answer the question, how quickly can I get my first Airbnb deal secured? If you work at it very hard, within a few weeks. Do I need months of training before I start? I don't think you need months of training whatsoever. I think you need the right training with the right person who is credible. As I say, I'm working with some guys and they've been doing it for a week, and they're already at a process where they feel confident talking to agents and landlords, confident doing the research, and they'll be up and running probably next week or the week after. So no, I don't think you need months of training. What if I have no experience in Airbnb? I wouldn't advise to get into this if you don't have any experience. Go and find someone, watch whatever content you can find someone that's credible, and learn as much as you can. It's not about having no experience. Make sure you've got a bit of information, a bit of knowledge before you start going out there and trying to secure deals, because the last thing you want to do is lose a relationship with an estate agent or a landlord, or lose a lot of money or credibility. So yeah, get a bit of training if you can. I've heard Airbnb is too competitive / saturated. So I don't think Airbnb is saturated. I think there's a lot of people that are getting into the market, but I still think there's a big market out there. Now, a lot of people talk about, for example, Birmingham being saturated. I don't think it is. I think there's a lot of Airbnbs there, and I think there's actually a lot of demand for them. So it's not saturated, it's just quite a busy market. But I think there's still a lot of time to make a lot of money within Airbnb. And because there's more people that are getting involved, it's pushing out the people that haven't got a particularly good property or it's not decorated well. So I think if anything, it's just increasing the standards of how properties need to be dressed and so the level of experience you're going to get from staying in that Airbnb. Will I need to clean or manage the property myself? No, you don't need to, but you can. So I've always had a management company. They've taken care of the whole process for me. So I focused on building the business. Where I work with a lot of people that do self-manage, they make a little bit more money because they get to keep that 15% management to themselves. So it's really up to you. If you want to go and look after a few properties and replace your income with the management fee alone, then you could do that. Or you can focus on building the business or carry on doing your job that you might be currently doing, and then have this running in the background. How do I scale from Airbnb to multiple properties? The first deal is going to be the hardest. Once you start talking to people, once you start building relationships, more deals will just naturally come. So a landlord is going to know another landlord. An estate agent's always got more than one property. If you do a good job, they'll recommend you to other people. So getting the first one's going to be difficult. Not impossible, obviously. It's going to be difficult. You'll learn that process, then things will start to get easier. So to scale, you just got to let everyone know exactly what you're doing. So you can run ads, you can talk to friends and family, you can have flyers, lots of different things. What if I don't live in a big city? Will this still work for me? Now, Airbnb works in a lot of places all over the world. So don't worry too much about being in a big city. A lot of my stuff is around city centres, but I know a lot of people that have got a lot of property all over the place. They've got Cotswold estates, they've got farms, they've got tree houses, they've got barges. It could be anything. It could be a static caravan, a bungalow, it doesn't matter. But you have to make sure you do your research into an area to understand if it is 100% going to work. But you don't need to worry too much about the big cities. How much time do I need to spend on my Airbnb business each week? Now, if you're self-managing, then a good amount of time. Now, that's going to depend on how many properties you've got, how much guest communication you're doing. Are you doing the cleans yourself? Are you actually really working this day to day? There is going to be a level of work involved with that. If you're employing a management company, very, very, very little work needed every week. So my management company takes care of everything. As I've said, I have a portfolio of over 50 properties and I probably work half an hour a week on the business. Maybe if it's a serious maintenance issue, I'll take care of it. Well, my management company will let me know and then I'll take care of it. Maybe if I'm dealing with a landlord about maybe acquiring another property, I'll talk to them. But really, my management company takes care of the whole process. So I can just focus on getting more deals or doing other things involved in property. So that answers a few questions. I hope that helps.